Okay, everyone, we are going to continue talk about the tuples or tuples, whichever you prefer. Okay, and well, before we move on, I got a favor to ask from you guys. Well, now the class evaluation has already opened for students, and remember, well. This is a time that you can give me feedback. Well, and to encourage you guys to just tell me who you feel about this course, and then this is what I'm offering. Well, if you I have a response rate higher than 66%, which is two-thirds, and then I will do those two things to everyone in this class. Number one, I'm going to drop the two lowest daily exercises score for everyone, and I know from time to time that you may miss the daily exercises, and you may also miss the late submission deadline because, well, you cannot do the late submission after 1 week. Well, and number two, I'm going to drop two missed flip grade participations for everyone. Well, and remember, flip grade is required as part of this course. Well, and you don't have to do all the topics, but you do need to do 75% of the topics to get the total 5% toward your course score. Okay, so if I have a course evaluation rate higher than 66, and then I'm going to drop two missing data exercises and two missing flip grade participations. Okay, and the next thing, well, let me talk about what is going to happen next. Well, there will be a smaller project 4. Well, this won't be a huge project that I'm requiring you to write hundreds of lines of code. Well, that there will be 11 practice questions. Well, hopefully there will be 11, but there might be a little bit more. Okay, anyhow, well, those are going to be the questions really, really similar to the coding final. And by the way, we are going to do a coding only final exam. Okay, and then after I release the project 4, and then I will make another video and walk you through some of the questions. I want to give you a feeling on what the final exam is going to be like, and then how do we do the coding, and then where are the test cases and how we can run that, and so we have some idea on if I get the correct solution or not. So, well, a very quick preview will be something similar to the coding midterm 2. Well, and on the top of this file, and then you have the descriptions, and you will also have the space to plug in your code. Basically, you are doing functions. Okay, so after you have finished the functions, and then on the lower half, and then there will be a bunch of the test cases or some other additional code to test whether your solution is correct or not. And then underneath this line, you don't have to change anything. Well, it will be the same for the final exam. Well, and after I release the project 4, and then I will walk you through some of the questions. So to help you get a feeling on what to expect about the final. So for the coding final, and this will be something new to many students, and I definitely don't want to surprise you, because at this time of a semester, that's the worst thing that I want to give you any surprise, especially the surprises in the exams, right? Okay. Well, the next thing I want to talk about is a flip grade. And I see some of the students, you miss quite a few of the flip grade participations. Well, even though I don't think the flip grade participations is going to be super hard topics, well, but some of you may just miss it. But no worries, this is what I'm doing. Well, there will be the week 13, 14, and 15 of flip grade topics, and then I'm going to keep them open until the November 30th. So, well, for those three, and then of course you want to do them, and plus remember, and I'm going to drop two missing flip grade participations. Well, if you have a high enough course evaluation response. Okay, and then, well, for the submission locker, there is a submission locker for the CS circle, and for the CS circle, and you just need to finish the practices and then give me screenshots. Okay, and then, well, I remember for the CS circle, and then there will be a number of the tries. you have done on each of the questions. Well, don't worry about that. So if you try that for 10 times before you get the right answer, don't feel embarrassed. And I only want to see the check marks. So if you see I did that 10, 15 times until I got it correctly, no problem. You only need to make the screenshots. Okay? Okay, and today we want to continue talk about the tuples, and especially we want to do a even more comprehensive comparisons between the tuples and the list, and I will also show you some of the tricks that we can do with tuples, and some cases that tuples can really be handy. Okay, so let's see. Well, for the mutability, well, this is what we know. Well, tuples are immutable, and then the lists are mutable, right? And then by saying tuples are immutable, this means if we have a tuple like a t, and then we want to do a t square bracket 2 equals 3.14. We cannot do that. Why? Because we are plugging in a new value into this tuple. In other words, that is a in-place change. Well, any in-place changes cannot be done on tuples. Okay, so you may ask, say if I have a tuple, and I do want to change this number from 4.56 to 3.14. So how can I do that? Well, the easiest way is, how about you just create a new tuple? You create a new tuple and then fix this number. And well, this is the easiest way. Well, are there other ways? Yes. Well, remember in last course we talked about the casting. We can cast this t into a list. Then we make the in-place changes on that list. After we make whatever changes we want to do, we cast that back into a tuple. Well, that is another solution that we can do. Okay? Well, and here is a new choice. Well, and this new choice is we want to use the concatenations. Well, we are going to see that later. Okay? So, well, let's just move on. Well, for the list, on the other side, we are talking about the list, and they are mutable. And by saying they are mutable, this means we can do any in-place changes as we want to do, right? Say if we want to take out this 23 and then I want to plug in a 45, and this can be done, right? Okay, and then well, and you may still ask this, why do we have two versions? It seems that the list is quite cool, right? Well, and lists are also more flexible. And why did the designer of Python even bother to create a tuple? And here's the argument. Well, to make lists flexible, well, and then there is a cost. The cost is if we are doing the same operation, which is supported both on the list and then on the tuples, and this means the operations on the list will be slightly slower than tuples. Okay, so to make lists in Python so flexible that there is a cost. Well, probably the cost is not so high, and then we don't even feel about that, but there is a cost. Okay, so now we want to go through some of the operations that we can do on lists only. Well, the first one, append. We have already tried that in the day 20 exercise. If we want to append something to a list, well, that is okay. Can you append something to a tuple? Nope. Because, well, this will be a in-place change. And the similar thing, we haven't talked about that, but there is a method called insert. We are inserting to a certain index, and we are inserting a certain value. So in this call, we are trying to do a insertion on the index 2, and then the value to be inserted will be I. Well, and this can be done on lists, no problem. However, this cannot be done on tuples. Okay, so it seems that this video is long enough, and I will continue in the next one.